Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rocking as the Bengals have gifted us an opportunity this weekend as they beat the Ravens in Thursday Night Football on Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you all had a great Thanksgiving. But should have been better. Should have closed with a bang with the Bengals beating the Ravens, giving us the opportunity to take back the lead of the division with a win this weekend over the Bills. Now, are we going to beat the Bills? Let's talk about that. Let's move on to the game plan against the Bills this weekend. First off, thank you, Bengals. You did us dirty earlier this year. You just did the Ravens dirty in their home stadium. That's fantastic. Love to see it. Uh, about the Bills, we can't let Allen hit his MVP form again. We saw it 2 weeks ago where he had 6 touchdowns, three in the air, three on the ground. But even in that game, first half, he made some really dumb turnover decisions. Maybe one of the worst passes I've seen in a while, with a little bit of a push pass on his own goal line that went straight to a Bucks player last week against the Texans. Really struggled against that defensive line, threw a horrible game-ending interception on a game-winning touchdown drive that they could have had. Closed it out with him making a terrible read. He had his tight end wide open, doesn't see him, throws an interception, closes the game out. Brutal for the Bills. They're coming off of that loss to the Texans. We're coming off of a loss to the Bears where a couple turnovers hurt us. So the main game plan here has to be to protect the ball and to force Allen into making those dumb decisions again. We need our pass rush to get home this weekend. We need TJ Watt having a big game. We need Nick Herbig or Alex Highsmith coming off the other edge consistently. We need Cam Hayward putting pressure up the middle. And you can't let Allen use his legs and be able to break the pocket. I think also we gotta make sure James Cook can't get rolling this weekend on their offensive side of the ball. We want the ball to be in Allen's hands as much as possible. I know that's kind of a shocker considering he can play like an MVP any given Sunday. Of course, that's always a possibility. But there's always the possibility of the Allen roller coaster happening, where he's good for a couple drives, and then a couple other drives he makes some just horrendous decisions that most NFL level quarterbacks you don't see make too often. We've seen it in the past couple games. Him be willing to give the ball away, trying to extend plays. Hopefully, if our pass rush can get there, if our coverage can hold up, where if you look at their weapons, they don't really have they're in that kind of what the Steelers are looking like right now when it comes to the offensive weapons. You've got a good tight end, but receiving core, very lackluster. We've seen Keon Coleman, a high draft pick, be on their bench from just coaching decisions the past couple weeks. And their offense hasn't really been able to consistently move the ball. Last week against the Texans, when that defense was able to down their, I think, number two, number three wide receivers at best. They really don't have too much talent at that position. I know they recently brought Gabe Davis back in, someone that was looking at Pittsburgh for a while, but there is a massive opportunity for our defense here to finally bounce back, finally get the season turned around. Offensively, oof, we got to live through our tight ends in the pass game. We need to use Darnell Washington a lot. We need to use Gainwell out of the backfield a lot. And talking about that, let's talk about these key players for Sunday. Watt and Gainwell are my two guys. Watt going along with the pass rush. We got to get home against Josh Allen. Watt has had a couple of good games against the Bills in previous years, so I don't think he should struggle against them. Now, this has been a regression year, in my opinion, for TJ Watt. Don't really like seeing it considering how much money we threw his way this offseason. But this is a huge chance for TJ Watt to show us why we paid him that huge price tag. There's a chance for him to turn the narrative around on his season. He had a strip sack for a touchdown last week. He has a strip sack against Allen before in the league. He can do it again this weekend. I think the opportunities will be there. If TJ Watt isn't getting doubled all game, he wants to take advantage of when he gets those one-on-one opportunities, when he's able to avoid a chip and be able to bring Allen down. We got to contain Allen this weekend. That is the biggest key to winning this game. Gainwell, though, I really do think the offense has to run through him. I think he's shown that he's probably the best running back in our running back room this year. I like his vision in the backfield. He bounces around sometimes, but usually he's not like Najee Harris bouncing around. When Najee was bouncing around in the backfield, it was very indecisive, bouncing to wrong holes. Gainwell, when he's back there, kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, more like a Walmart brand Le'Veon Bell from those glorious Killer B days. But Gainwell has great vision back there and is a huge threat out of the backfield as we've seen in recent weeks. I'd love to see him back there more often this week against the Bills. I think he will have a great opportunity to take advantage of a lackluster Bills defense. But still, Davis Mills get the job done against this Bills defense last week, be able to push the ball up and down the field against them. I think even if Rudolph has to play again, Rudolph showed he can move the ball last week. Didn't Gainwell involved out of the backfield because that guy is a playmaker with the ball in his hands, and he's been able to prove that in recent weeks. And honestly, when given his chance all season long, he's been able to prove that. But let's talk about my final prediction because truly I think it's going to be a disappointment once again this weekend. I think the defense is going to let us down again. I think our offense, once again, will score 28 to 30 plus points this weekend. So I'm not going to blame this one on the offense. It's just hard for me to see a Sunday 425 game where Josh Allen doesn't ball out against us. Our defense has just been so miserable this year, in my opinion. They've been so inconsistent this year. You go from one week holding teams under 25 points. You go to the next week, we're allowing 30 plus points. And Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks that take advantage of poor defenses on a consistent basis. Last week, he was going up against the number one defense in the league. This week, he's going up against a bottom half defense in the league with us in the Steelers. I think he's going to be able to take advantage of this. I think he's going to be able to use his legs unless we have Patrick Queen QB spying all game or Peyton Wilson QB spying all game. This could get ugly quick, in my opinion, and we could be chasing them down for the whole game. They could take an early lead, and the Steelers are playing from behind for the rest of the game. And we know the Steelers in the past 5 years, ever since Big Ben retired, when we're playing from behind, it is never good because our playing style is to milk the clock and slowly dwindle the game away and win games by one possession. And this is one of those games where if you fall behind early, it's going to be hard to catch up just because of our playing style. We don't do well when we fall behind early, and I can see that happening this weekend. I hope I'm wrong here, but more than likely, that is what's going to happen this Sunday. But thank you all for tuning in to Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I'll see you next week.